Hey, what up, guys? Doing another What's Next. Today, there's 5 of them because last weekend had 5 main events, separate events together. So right now, we're going to be breaking down heavyweight contender, undefeated heavyweight contender, Joe Joyce of the United Kingdom. He main evented an ESPN card Saturday the 13th when he took on veteran former world title challenger Bryant Jennings from the United States. This is a big fight for Joyce as it was the biggest name opponent going into the fight, Jennings was a top 10 heavyweight coming into the year. He suffered an upset 12th round TKO loss to Oscar Rivas in a really good fight that he was ahead of going into the 12th round. And, Joyce had really needed to showcase himself. And he did that. He dominated Jennings for pretty much the entire fight, but Jennings finished this one. He didn't stop Jennings. Joyce is a power puncher. I didn't get to see the fight, but I'm assuming Jennings, following his last fight, wasn't trying to press the action against Joe Joyce and go toe-to-toe. But Joyce nonetheless got a big win and, the biggest of his career, in my opinion. And now he's pushing forward to, whatever else is next. And that's the big question. What's next for heavyweight contender Joe Joyce? Well, right now, I don't see anybody in the top 10 outside of maybe Alexander Povetkin giving him an opportunity. Tyson Fury's just on another level. He's not going to come down and take a risk against a guy like Joyce when he's got like a fight like Deontay Wilder coming up next. Joyce would have to mandate a fight like that, and Fury would have to be a world champ. Deontay Wilder, another guy. He's got too many options coming up. I don't see him taking a risk against a guy like Joyce who hasn't really, put his name out there completely as a serious contender yet. Andy Ruiz, again, another guy. He's got options coming up. He's a world champion. Anthony Joshua, if he wins the title back from Ruiz, he's got options. Luis Ortiz. If he loses to Wilder and he doesn't get beat down in that fight, or it's a close one again, I think Ortiz could fight a guy like Joe Joyce, but, how long would it take? Because Ortiz has a fight in November, so Joyce probably not an option next for him. Dillian White, he's not going to roll the dice on a guy like Joyce because he's right in line for a world title against the winner of Wilder and Fury. Joseph Parker. Parker's, he's fighting for DAZN now. He's likely going to face Derek Chisora next, so probably not in the cards. Povetkin is an interesting guy because Povetkin's looking to make a name for himself, and nobody seems to want to, before he retires, and nobody seems to want to fight him. So I think he might roll the dice against a guy like him. Povetkin thought Alexander Povetkin might be at the end of his rainbow, and that doesn't even look like an option anymore. So I think a guy like Joe Joyce would be perfect for Povetkin, and I really would like to see this fight. Other guys in the top 10, Kubrat Pulev, don't see this one. I don't think Pulev's going to he's in line for a world title, so I don't think he's going to take that risk. And then, to round out the top 10 is a guy like Oscar Rivas, maybe coming off that loss. But, he lost that fight. He went 12 hard rounds with Dillian White. So is he going to want to go in against a top guy like Joe Joyce next? I just don't see it. But Joyce just needs to keep banging. He needs to just keep fighting guys, try to get top 15, top 20 guys with a name. Or he really needs to push for that Povetkin fight because I think that's probably his only real option right now. So that's it, guys. Heavyweight contender. If you haven't seen him, you should. He's a power puncher and he's good. Undefeated Joe Joyce. True boxing. Been hit with the truth.